got my drinks. Is it recording? Okay. My name is Kennedy. If you know me already, it's probably because you have seen the CW show Nancy Drew. I am an actor who plays Nancy Drew on that show. But you are now watching my YouTube channel, which I've wanted to make a YouTube channel since I was a young lass. I have made many YouTube channels in the past, none of which are available for consumption at this time. I've always wanted to do this, and I'm in Vancouver shooting season 4 of Nancy Drew, and I'm by myself this time. My husband is and my pets are at home in our house, which is really great, but I don't have a lot. I was gonna say I don't have a lot going on. I have a lot going on with the shooting of the show, but I kind of need something else, I think, to occupy my mind, and I've always wanted to do this for a really long time, and so here I am. So let's get started on the questions. I asked you guys to ask me anything that you wanted to know. How was it for you to get married during the quarantine situation? So if you guys don't know, I am married to a man named Sam, who's the best person that I've ever known. We started dating in my freshman year of college, and the rest is history. We got engaged at the end of 2018, and then I got this job, the Nancy job, in early 2019. And our lives flipped upside down, and we didn't know how we were ever gonna plan a wedding at that point, once my schedule was what it was, and it's so unpredictable. Being an actor is a really unpredictable life. And so that sort of put it in the back seat. And then the pandemic hit, and it just sort of felt like we were never gonna get to do it. We really wanted to be married, and I wanted to be able to call him my husband, and he wanted to be able to call me his wife, and that's so cute. And so we just kind of thought, what's stopping us from getting married? Why not just do it? Just got married, and it was really simple and short. And then we went back downstairs, and Sam made us pasta, and we got really drunk and watched Below Deck all day. It was the best day of my life. Yeah, it felt like taking ownership at that time, when it felt like I had no control over my life. We were not stuck, but we were in another country waiting for production to start again for season 2 of Nancy Drew, and we didn't know when that was going to be, and we just didn't know. Everyone was uneasy, of course, with the state of the world and all that kind of stuff. So it felt like a moment of taking charge and ownership over our lives, which I think we really needed at that point. What's something you do at the end of the day to relax and decompress? Well, I love eating in bed with a television show, particularly a dating reality show. Yeah, that's basically what I do. Sometimes I'll stretch. I don't know when I've never stretched before bed to relax. Well, maybe once, but that's not. Is there anything you did as a teenager your parents don't know about? No. I've always been very close with my parents, and I also was never doing anything that would be a thing you wouldn't tell your parents. I've been a very obedient person in the world since I was birthed. Also, this is a snake plant that's super dead. It's not mine. When I moved into this apartment, which is also not, it's the place that I live in, but it's furnished, none of this furniture is mine. It came pre-furnished, I suppose. And this was already dead. That's not my fault. I didn't do that. How did you decide on acting, and how did your family/friends react to it when you officially decided on it? Well, I've known for a very long time that this is what I wanted to do. When I was in elementary school, I did my first play and I absolutely fell in love with it. I just thought it was fantastic. I could take my brain out and put somebody else's brain in, and that was awesome to me for a lot of different reasons. And I never really questioned or had the feeling of, oh, this is a little crazy of a career to pursue. Not that I was unrealistic about it, but my parents were always incredibly supportive, and I had a fantastic drama teacher in high school who really believed in me. And yeah, so I don't even really remember a moment where I declared that was what I wanted to do. It just was always the thing I was going to do. What was your favorite Halloween costume you dressed up as? When I was in middle school, it was sort of the last year that I could get away with trick-or-treating. Me and my best friend at the time, Rachel, hi Rachel, we brought a bunch of different costumes in paper bags out with us, and we would go to the same houses. We kind of scoped out the best houses and then would go change costumes and come back to get more candy from the same houses. And that was quite an adventure. I really enjoyed that. I think our primary costume was matching ninjas, which I quite liked. Ooh, okay, so what made you decide you want to do this shindig in the first place? I imagine this shindig being this YouTube channel. I'm very curious and intrigued to learn more about everything you have planned. And I'll be supporting you all the way, no matter what it is. I love you so much. I love you too. You're so sweet. Yeah, sort of as I mentioned earlier, I've always wanted to do this. And in terms of what to expect, I watch YouTube every day. I love YouTube. I love watching people's lives, and so I love the vlogging lifestyle aspect of things, and that's something that I want to do here. And I really love makeup, and I love beauty and skincare and fashion and all of that kind of stuff. So that's probably some stuff you'll see here too. Yeah, just sort of lifestyle stuff, and I just kind of wanted to dip my toe in the water and see how it felt, but you can expect all sorts of things. If you have any ideas of videos you'd like me to make, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. What would you tell the pre-Nancy Kennedy? An advice, a comment, a compliment, whatever you would say to her if you could. I think I would just tell her, you're right. This is not from a place of arrogance or assuming anything, or because I'm special, or because I'm really talented. This does not coming from that place at all. I always thought I knew that this was gonna work out for me. I knew I was gonna be able to be an actor, and I don't know, I could have never imagined doing it the way that it's happened for me so far, but I always kind of knew something was right about what I was doing, and I spent so much time wavering about convincing myself that I should feel differently than that. Whether to be more humble or, and again, I don't think that was ever coming from a place of, I'm so great and therefore it's going to work out. I just knew, and I felt the same way about my relationship too. Sam and I started dating really young, and I never anticipated it going that way, but I knew from 2 months into us dating that we were going to get married. I've gotten so in my head in the past of trying to convince myself that my gut instinct is wrong. And I think I would, now that my life has unfolded and I've grown into myself and I trust myself a lot more than I used to, I think I would tell, my younger self that it's okay. You're right. Favorite comfort meal / the meal you like to make that makes you feel most at home? Well, I feel like the meal that makes me feel most at home is probably something that my mom would cook. I love pasta. I'm so original. I love pasta. But I love pasta. If there was something that I would make, I think baking is probably more in line with what feels like home to me. Fresh baked focaccia bread. That's my favorite thing to bake. Do you have any piece of advice that's stuck with you? One of the best pieces of advice I've ever gotten, and it came in the form of an acting mindset in my training in school, but I think it applies to a lot of things in life, which is hold on tightly, let go lightly. When you have something, embrace it, dive right into it, give it everything you have while you have it, and when it's gone, let it go. I don't think it was her quote directly, but it was my movement teacher in school, Catherine Moore, who would say that, and that's always really stuck with me. Were you nervous when Nancy Drew took off? How did you handle the shift you had to kind of make for the public? I remember not knowing what to expect and feeling okay about the whole thing. And I remember the night that the show premiered, I had a full breakdown. It just all hit me. It was really strange to suddenly feel really exposed. I felt vulnerable. And like I couldn't hide anymore. And what if I'm terrible? And what if everyone thinks I'm awful? And what if I embarrass myself? Or just there's no going back from that. You know, once you do it, you can't erase that. Once that initial shock died down, it's been really great and not as big of a shift as I thought it would be. What it's probably weighed on the most is my relationship with social media and just feeling really strange about that. And that goes through phases. But it's strange about having a platform when you didn't ask for that, really. Like you start. I was just trying to be an actor, you know. And then you get put in a position where you take a job that then all of a sudden you have this other thing that's supposed to be kind of your job too, in a weird way, or people expect a lot from you, and that can be really great and encouraging of important things, but it can also be just really stressful. There's massive pros, but there's some cons to that too. What's your daily routine? I'm a very routine-focused person. I love a routine. I love a habit. Very good at keeping them, which makes me very rigid and totally not spontaneous. But that's okay, you know? Everybody has their gifts. On an ideal day, you know, sometimes I have super early mornings if I'm shooting, and then, you know, it's just sort of wake up, drink coffee, leave. I'll wake up, drink coffee, get a workout in, whether that's riding on my Peloton bike. I'm a big Peloton person. I absolutely love it. Or doing weight training, or sometimes go on a walk, or if I can, if I've got lots of time, I'll go on a walk. I make some food, breakfast, and have that in the bath. Unless I need to wash my hair, then I'll take a shower and wash my hair. I love a bath and watch a YouTube video. And then I get out, I do my skincare, which I can film a routine on it at some point if you want to see that. And then get on with my day. Usually that means going to work or getting ready for whatever I have going on that day. Emotionally, the hardest scene to film. Spoilers if you haven't seen Nancy Drew and you would like to at some point. When we're defeating the Aglaika and George dies, that was a long process and really intense because we were all there and we were really all there, and it was very emotional. Anything I filmed with Scott. What was the hardest scene to shoot, and what was the easiest from anything you've acted in? I would say one of the hardest scenes I've ever shot was in the Law & Order SVU episode that I did. I guest starred in, and that was my first big role. Well, it was a guest star, meaning I was just on one episode, but it was my first time doing big scenes, I guess, in an episode of television. And we filmed this scene at the end of the episode where I'm confronting the man that did horrible things to me. And we shot that scene for 5 or 6 hours, and I didn't know at that time what that process was gonna be like, and it was really emotional material, and I was just kind of learning, you know, how to have stamina emotionally to do that and to be able to give a full performance the entire time for my scene partners, and then also when the camera was on me. And I was just learning so much. There's so much I didn't know or didn't understand about being on a TV show, and so it just was a massive amount of learning and figuring things out. And so yeah, that was really hard. That's my easiest scene to shoot. Anything without dialogue. Not anything. Sometimes those scenes are hard, but they're fun in their own sort of way because you have so much freedom. I love getting the opportunity to be trusted to convey something without needing to articulate it in words. I know you're a huge reader, so what's some of your favorite books? To Kill a Mockingbird is probably my favorite book, probably just because the time that I read it was the first time I was really captured by a book's atmosphere. It felt, not that it's a warm story, there are aspects of it that are, but it just felt warm and whole. It just felt thorough. And I think that was the first time I experienced that in a book. Recently read, well, not too recently, about a year and a half ago, Pachinko, which they made a show on. But before the show was out, I read the novel, and that was fantastic. Really enjoyed that. The Dutch House is a favorite book of mine. I love fantasy too. I love The Court of Thorn and Roses. Oh, I love Six of Crows is a great fantasy novel if you've never read it. It's fantastic. And that whole series, the name is escaping me right now. I don't know. I'll put it in here. Were you hesitant to take the role of Nancy Drew? No. But that being said, it was actually a bit complicated. I was deciding between Nancy and this other role. I've loved Nancy Drew my entire life, and I just felt really called to the character, and it just was so exciting. But the other role is a supporting role in a very star-studded cast, and that was really exciting in its own way. But it just would have led me down a very different sort of path in my career. It was my grandma who said, you can play a role like that supporting role at any point in your career. You're only going to get the chance to be Nancy Drew one time. That was the thing that tipped the scales for me. Do you have or want any tattoos? I do not have any tattoos. No, I don't really want any. My brother has enough tattoos for the whole family. What was the scene that you shot that took multiple takes because of laughing or anything? Well, there's been many scenes like that. We're not terrible at it. We're pretty good at this point of not, we don't break character a lot. But sometimes the rituals that we do on the show, any sort of seance, anything where you're getting wind blown in your face and you're saying words that are difficult to memorize, some sort of chant or something, and people are just all around the room and you're like reacting to things that aren't happening, and it's just inherently pretty funny. When you're not working, what is your favorite hobby? I love to read on my Kindle in particular, which was a big game changer for me. I didn't think I was going to be a Kindle person, but I love my Kindle now. I just love it. It's so light, it's so easy to hold, and I read so much more than I used to. I love playing video games. So that's what Sam and I do a lot together. And also we hike a lot. I love to cook and bake. When I'm at home and have nothing else going on, I like to learn how to bake new things and cook new recipes. What are your favorite things about acting / being on Nancy Drew? I love the community that we have. It's just a really wonderful workplace. Love the parts of my job that have nothing to do with what happens on screen, but the parts that have a lot to do with being someone people can turn to help solve problems in terms of environment, or just making sure things are working for everybody, and seeing the bigger picture of how can we make everything easier for everyone as much as possible. Also, I think our show's really funny and also really heartfelt, and it's really fun to tell those stories. What's your most embarrassing moment on set? I've biffed it a couple times, but I'm really not easily embarrassed. I think once you do what I've done for the last 4 seasons, you just stop being embarrassed by anything, because you've just done so much crazy stuff in front of a room full of people. So you just kind of get over it. I will say, in season 1, there's a scene that I'm sure is quite memorable to everyone, myself included, which involved me, Nancy was retching up a seaweed wreath, and we shot it a couple different ways. I had a rig of like down my back and like out the side of my mouth so that I was pulling seaweed from that, and it looked like a really long strand. But then also we did versions where I just shoved as much of it in my mouth as possible and like was like gagging and pulling it out. And that was so intimate. I've filmed physically intimate scenes where my clothes are off and felt less exposed than I did filming the seaweed wreath scene. That just felt personal. It was awesome, but it was a little embarrassing, I guess. How do you get through your hardest days? Hardest days at work, stepping away and finding a minute to be by myself and take some deep breaths and genuinely look in a mirror and say, Kennedy, you can do this. I also have some people that are really important pillars of emotional support for me, and I hope I am for them too. And one of them is my makeup artist, Danielle. She's someone that I feel really comfortable turning to and really has my back and has been such a critical support system for me. I think confiding in people, and I'm still not very good at opening up and letting people in to help me. I've gotten better at that. Just curious, would you say you're more introverted or extroverted? This is kind of a classic take, but I feel like I'm an introvert with an extroverted personality. I really, really need peace and quiet and time by myself. But I feel like I'm quite animated, have a lot to say, and so when I'm with people, I like to be fully engaged, and I think that comes across as very extroverted. And I feel like I have a pretty easy time talking to new people and that kind of stuff. But I think that's just practice, really. What's the biggest thing you've learned from being in the industry, and do you have advice for any young aspiring actors? I will say everyone's journey is unique. There is no formula or path that you can follow that will lead you to a certain goal. It's kind of a crapshoot, the whole thing. All you can do is trust your instinct, and while gratitude is really important, and being grateful for the people that have worked hard to support you or elevate you in your career, you're at the table because you deserve to be there and you have something to contribute. And I think it can be easy for actors to get caught up in, thank you so much for giving me this chance, and thank you. I'm stupid, I don't know, but you're awesome, and I'm just here to do whatever I can. I'll do whatever you want, and I'll do it however you want it, and I think it's easy to I've certainly been trapped in that feeling before, and you start to really lose your self-worth, and you're also not living up to your full potential because you have so much to contribute if you only trust yourself enough to contribute it. If you could choose the one episode that you're most proud of making from Nancy Drew, which one would it be? The end of season 1 with the Lucy reveal and all of the parentage stuff and the Ryan reveal, and I think that was a really proud moment for everyone at that time because we'd been building up to it for so long, and it was the reason that it's the reason that story began, was because of those reveals and those reasons. And I think it felt like a lot of pressure at the time, especially when we filmed that scene when Nancy comes home and Carson's in the kitchen and she's, you lied to me, and he tells her the full truth finally. And I think we felt a lot of pressure for that to be really great, and I'm just really proud of everybody involved in that execution of that reveal. And I think that was really exciting, and it was so exciting to see everybody react to it online, and yeah, I'm really proud of that whole thing. Favorite episode y'all have filmed so far for season 4? Episode 3. Good luck. What perfumes do you like? Madison and Leah, my co-workers and friends, really got me onto Le Labo. So I wear, I'll go get it. I'll go get it for you. I wear Gaik 10 from Le Labo. This is their international fragrance. I believe it's the Tokyo fragrance. It smells so, yeah, it is the Tokyo one. So these are only available in September. So if you're watching this and it's still September, then you can get it. I think it smells amazing. It smells so good. I love it. But I feel like it doesn't linger. Like, I feel like nobody notices it, which is the whole point of wearing perfume, you know? So I feel like maybe I need to try something else. How do you prefer to spend your time with friends? Like, do you prefer going somewhere? Would you rather stay in, have some food and drinks, or do something fun? I love a game night. It depends on what I've been doing. I think because of where I live, like my home is very quiet and peaceful. When I'm in the city and around friends, I want to go out and do things and go to shows or go dancing or go, just do something. I love a dinner party too. Oh, I love a dinner party. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live? Well, I love where I live now. I love New York City. I would love to live there again. I haven't finished my time there. How would you describe yourself? I asked Sam to describe me in 3 words recently because I was really curious what he would say, and he said, now granted, this is my husband, so, I'm sure not everyone would describe me this way. But he said, efficient, effervescent, and zany. I mean, I can't comment on my own effervescence. Efficiency is very important to me. I really care about things being efficient and adjusting to make things as efficient as possible. And I'm always creating solutions in my brain for how to increase the efficiency of something. I'm also quite zany. I think people get that impression. I'm quite a goofy gal. I like to have fun. I like to be a little bit loud. Any last ones? When you buy clothes, do you buy whole outfits together, or you just buy random things whenever? I'm the second one, and I always have clothes I don't have anything to wear with. I think I buy pieces more than anything else. I don't really buy outfits all together. I'm kind of in a place where I'm finally really figuring out what my style is and getting really excited about that. When I see a piece that really sings to me or is really special, then I'll get it and figure out what to do later. I have a lot of basics already in my closet, so when I get a bit of a bolder piece, I always have something to go with it. Anyway, I feel like I've been talking for an hour. This video is going to be very long. I'm sorry if I didn't answer your question. I had a lot of questions there, but hopefully we can do this again sometime. And yeah, let me know what you think. Please leave comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up. And subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Please leave suggestions in the comments if you feel like it, of things you want to see from me. Expect some vlogs and some sit-down chatty videos about beauty or fashion or lifestyle things. But yeah, let me know what kind of stuff you want to see from me. I hope you had a good time hanging out. I did. Yeah, I will see you next time.